大家好, Jiabaowei. I'm Lisa Chang Smith. Welcome to Cooking with Steam, where we show you how to make things with water. No. 大家好, Jiabaowei. I'm Lisa Chang Smith. Welcome to Cooking with Steam, where we talk all about cooking with steam and how to use the Tatung Steam Cooker. Today I'm going to show you how to make breakfast. One of the great things about the steam cooker is that you can stack steamers on top of it and make, let's say, 3 things at once. So I'm going to show you how to make an easy steamed egg, and then we're going to pull some frozen Bao Zi that I have just laying around, and then we're going to top it off with a green Chinese broccoli. So we need the eggs. So we're going to use these beautiful farm fresh eggs. I'm going to put shiitake mushroom. Give these a start in cold water the night before for the best flavor. If you don't have time to do that, that's fine. Just soak them in hot water. And we're going to use chicken stock and rice wine and a little bit of salt. And steamed egg is going to have a consistency that's a lot like flan or like a custard. So sometimes it's called steamed egg custard, although it's savory. So the secret to steamed egg is getting the ratio of egg and water just right. And also we're going to kind of strain that mixture after we beat it so that you're going to have like a really silky smooth custard. So we use 3 eggs, which is good for 2 people. And I'm going to add 1.5 cups of chicken stock. You can use water or any other stock that you have on hand. I'm going to give it a couple big pinches of salt. So I'm gonna just put like a little glob of rice wine in like that. You can use a different rice wine. I just wanna note that if you are gonna replace it, Taiwanese rice wine is much closer to like a Japanese cooking sake than like a Shaoxing rice wine from China. So if you are thinking about something else to use, keep that in mind. You really want the color to be just one uniform color. You can use a whisk. I'm using chopsticks. There's no way you can overbeat this. We are using log-grown mushrooms from Taiwan. You can use any shiitake mushroom. If you want to get a log-grown mushroom, they grow in like sort of a J or hook shape. So if you're in the market looking for a log-grown mushroom, you can look for that sign. So these mushrooms, these shiitake mushrooms, I pre-soaked them overnight, so they're like all squishy and delicious. I'm gonna squeeze the water out, and you can keep the mushroom water. So some people add it to their rice to cook the rice with. Another really great thing about mushrooms grown outside is that they're one of the only non-living or non-animal things that can create vitamin D when they're exposed to sunlight, which is really important if you're a vegetarian or a vegan. The benefit of the vegetable cleaver in like Chinese diasporic cooking has the same role as like the French chef's knife. So you can chop really finely with it, you can mince. The way that it handles is very suitable. So one thing is like you can scrape ingredients on here and then into the stir fry pot. And then also this cutting board. This is my favorite cutting board. It's cut from a large piece of ironwood tree. So all the grains are vertical. And so when you're cutting, it's kind of like honing the blade a bit. Before we make the steamed egg, we're going to talk about layering the tatung. So one surface is inside the pot, and another one is on the first layer of the steamer, and then we have one more layer of the steamer. And to cook the steamed egg, we're going to cook it in the bowl that you're going to serve it in. I know that this is going to fit under the lid perfectly, so just check that first. And the secret to steamed egg is to strain it or use a sieve to get out all of the extraneous proteins that are going to keep it from having a silky texture. So I just get like a sieve like this and put it over the bowl. And then I'm just gonna pour in like half of this. You want about 1 inch of headspace because the egg is going to rise a little bit as you steam it. And I'm gonna grab a spoon and scrape off the bubbles. And then I'm going to take half of the mushrooms that I cut up, distribute them throughout the egg mixture. Because the tatung is such a thing in Taiwan, steamers are made specifically to fit them. These are made out of bamboo and actually also a cypress wood out of Chinese fir. So it really has like a wonderful smell. And the great thing about the bamboo steamer is that it kind of wicks water away. If you steam in the metal steamer, the water tends to like condense and drip down onto the food, and the bamboo steamer will like wick the water away and release some of the moisture out so you don't get these like pockmarked or overly watery steams.
Yay!
These dumplings are called Bao Zi, also known as steamed buns. And these are really typical foods that you would see for breakfast or dim sum or dinner. In Taiwan, 7-Elevens are really cool. Like instead of grabbing like a gross hot dog, you can get like a hot steamed bun. And they will have like a little steaming paper on the bottom. We are steaming 3 things.
3.
So one difficult thing about steaming multiple things at once is thinking about time, which is water. So how much water should you put in? I'm gonna pour in 1 cup of water, steam the buns and the egg, and then I'm gonna add the vegetable and steam it for just a little bit longer so the vegetable doesn't get overcooked. If you are cooking steamed eggs with multiple layers, it is very important to put it at the top so that water does not drip into it. If water drips into it, it's gonna make it like all wrinkly and pockmarked, which is not what we want. Okay, so while this is steaming, I'm gonna prep my vegetables. This is Chinese broccoli, so it's almost like a broccoli robin flavor. It's a little bit bitter, also has a sweetness. So what I wanna do is I actually wanna try to get everything sort of the same thickness so that they can steam in about the same amount of time. The vegetable has a very simple sauce. It's one of my favorite ways to prepare steamed vegetables. It's just a soy paste sauce. It's very similar to like oyster sauce in texture and body. It doesn't have a seafood flavor. So it's made by boiling soy sauce with glutinous rice to thicken it and give it like sweetness and like a thicker texture. This one, you can actually see like the rice grains in it because it's made in the traditional style. Very simple rule of thumb, 1-to-1 with soy paste and water. So I like to just cook with these, the Chinese soup spoon. So I'm gonna do 1 soup spoonful of soy paste. I'm just gonna grab some water and dilute it. Okay, so that's the sauce, that's the veg. And the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop up some scallions. These scallions are really beautiful. I love a thin and skinny scallion. They're pretty hard to find. Today, I'm gonna cut them into very, very small rings. Because when you spoon up the steamed eggs, I just think you'll get like a better distribution of scallion. All right, so the switch has flipped up, which means it's ready to add our vegetables in. I wanna add them at the bottom because everything else is kind of like sensitive to moisture dripping on it. Put it right here. And then now I'm gonna use a steam plate. So this steam plate is gonna let me put a plate of vegetables on here above the level of the water. I'm gonna put 1/2 cup of water, which is gonna be like maybe 5 minutes or so because we don't wanna oversteam the vegetables. I'm just gonna do this. Now we're going to steam the vegetables and continue cooking the bao zi and the egg. Just like that. This is a device that's really all about improvisation and hacking it and creativity. And so don't be discouraged if it doesn't go quite right the first time. Like the first time I made the steamed eggs, I put them on the bottom. All the water from the buns fell into it and it was like totally inedible. It's really about, I mean, I'm gonna like get a little bit philosophical, but it's kind of like a daily practice of just like understanding this machine, understanding like how to use it in the same way that cooking is a daily practice. And when you cook on the stove or you approach making a dish, you're just coming at it with all of your senses and creativity and rationality to try to make something delicious. The switch has popped up, so we're gonna take a look. I'm gonna first open the top. Steamed eggs look great. They're just set. That's why we have these. Bao zi are also done. We're just gonna serve these right out of here. So I'm gonna put those down there. And then we've got the plate of steamed veggies here that is ready to be dressed. Veggies. We had made that soy paste and water kind of diluted topping. So I'm just gonna give it a quick stir. And you know what? It's always nice to arrange these just a little bit neatly after they've fallen over in the steamer. And then just pour this over. And that will be the dressing for the steamed vegetables. And then for the steamed egg, this is really a canvas for anything that you want. I love to do a little bit of soy sauce, sesame oil, and chili crisp. So we'll start with the soy sauce. It's just gonna float right on top like that. I think it's great with steamed eggs because it adds a little bit of a crunchy texture. Okay, and then finally, we're just gonna add some scallion to give it a bit of green. And I'm going to just put a tiny bit of salt, almost just for the crunch. And that is our beautiful bowl of steamed eggs. Oops. I'm just gonna eat this at the counter, which is what I would basically do at home. So we're gonna dive in. So what I love about this is the contrast of the steamed egg with the sauces. It's very hot, but it is very, very good. Kind of saltiness and savoriness of the chicken broth and that kind of deep flavor. The eggs are silken, like there's almost no texture at all. It's like a cloud. And the chili crisp is like a little bit bitter and that slightly numbing peppercorn. And then you have the nuttiness of the sesame oil and the freshness of the scallion. I mean, it's just like a really amazing dish. Oh, it's super good. I'm gonna give the vegetables a try too. So the veggies are, very basic, just lightly dressed. Perfectly crunchy. It's a little bit bitter because of it's like more like a broccoli raw. Then we've got the Bao Zi. Rip off the paper. I'm just gonna split it open to see what it's like. Yeah, it's perfect inside. These are great. They would be better if I made them, but they're great. So pure, so basic. I mean, it's eggs and water, basically. You don't have to use chicken stock. Salt, I think the rice wine's important. It adds like a little bit of fruitiness to it. But yeah, it's, the most basic and beautiful food in the world, in my opinion. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me for this simple steamed breakfast. I forgot what I was supposed to say. If you like, oh my God, I'm so bad at plugging. What am I supposed to say again? Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me for breakfast today. I also write a monthly newsletter about Taiwanese food and culture that's very much in this vein. So if you like that, please follow us there. It's at yunhai.substack.com. Otherwise, please like and subscribe. It'll help get this video seen in more places. And finally, stop by at Yunhai Shop or at our brick and mortar in Williamsburg. See you next time.